Good evening, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to Enigmatica episode 8. As you see, we had a couple changes between the last time where we left the farm, where we had the water wheel set up over here, and we were having some issues with it pulling out. So, things that I changed, I added a chute underneath of the portable interface, and then I have the chute going straight into a RS interface. So now as it comes around, I have the items getting sucked directly into our refined storage system. So that way, it's just passive. Again, it just sucks the items in. As you see, it comes into the interface, comes out. It's all good. So all of that stuff, and then the other change that we made is I filled out our wall a little bit more, add in the various seeds that we're harvesting upstairs, and ran some cable up to the interface so it all comes back into here. And that's about it. I got to sort these out a little bit yet, but I do have drawers for them. I just haven't imported them in. But that is not the thing for today. Today, we need to start on some ore generation. We don't have a whole lot of ores. As you see, if you look at chunks, I've got 40 gold chunks, which just gets doubled. So I've got 88 ingots basically. Iron, I have 135 ingots. So I'm not doing super well. Nether quartz, I have 157. Again, not real good. So we are going to start on bees. I think bees would be a very creative way to be able to generate resources in this pack. It is Minecraft. We do like to, mine, build, things like that. But lots of times we need resources to do these things. And, we could go down and do massive mining caves, which we've all done before. But I have never done resourceful bees. So I thought it would be fun to do bees. As I've been out running the world, I've been picking up various bees that are along the way. So I've got some water bees. I got a lot of sooty bees. I got a lot of coal. I have one skeleton, a couple RGB, and some icy. I picked up a glowstone bee when I was in the Nether, just recently farming to get some more glowstone for making things for refined storage. So that was kind of nice. And I have a forest bee. This bee here is a critical bee. We need this bee to start many of the others. How do we get started into bees? Let's take a look at our quest book. We go down to resourceful bees. Resourceful bees is a new take on resource generation utilizing one of the latest entities introduced in Minecraft, our buzzy little friends, the bees. This quest line should help you explore this, doing mutagens and all kinds of other things. And right off the bat, you see that we're going to complete a couple of quests because it gave us some jars. Jars is our way that we're going to collect our bees. So we're just going to collect all these things. We have a hive on us right now, so it's giving us a couple more things to make. So first thing we want to do is we want to get, for us to be able to use our bees, we want to make a tier 1 beehive. Tier 1 beehive is just any old beehive that you find in the world surrounded by grass. So you need to, let's pull out our shears and let's go grab some grass. And I think we'll just vein mine it. Get a nice chunk. Now we do have a small, probably a tier 1 hive in our little building over there that we've just really been kind of neglecting for a while, in all honesty. And we're just going to toss all this stuff in here. No, we don't really need it right now. All right, so we want to make a tier 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 1 beehive right here. So let's see. So it's a grass hive. Do we have any hives? Do we not have any hives? No way. I mean, I've got my tier 1 beehive here, but Do I not? Wow. Okay. Well, guys, I messed. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm okay. I'm like, man, I swear I've done this. So if you take the nest that you find, surround it by stuff, you get your tier 1 beehives. So we're actually going to go ahead and make a couple of them. We'll use them as time goes on. To make a tier 2, you need some combs, some beeswax. Now we don't have the beeswax. We've got the hive because I mean it's right here, but we don't have the comb. So let's take a quick look at quest book, and we got some honeycomb. So yay, we got combs. Combs are a byproduct of beekeeping, which is harvested from beehives. It can be processed later in a centrifuge for honey, wax, and a plethora of other resources. So next thing we need is a centrifuge right here. So we need to make this guy. Let's get rid of you because it's telling us that this is how we process our stuff, right? So let's do centrifuge. We probably don't have much of this, if any of this. So we're gonna make our trapdoor. We're gonna need 2 trapdoors. Let's make a barrel. Make another trapdoor. And I think we needed a lever. And this lets us get our centrifuge. And this is how we are going to start our world, right? This is going to be our world for bees for a very short time, but it is how you have to get started. And that also completes a quest. What goodies did we get? Bee smoker. Apparently we have 2 beepedias, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Glass, combs. We want the combs. All right. So what the quest book also told us about the centrifuge is that place honeycombs in it, sneak right click it, but you also need to have some empty bottles. So we do have some bottles still. So we're going to throw our bottles in. We're going to throw our honeycombs in, and we are going to sneak right click. And this is taking the products, spinning it around, and we're processing the combs, right? So we're gonna, and we're done, and we got 1 beeswax out of that. So you can see that this isn't this is going to be a slower process, right? So I'm going to take our combs that I currently have in stock, which I have some sitting over here. So I've got sooty, RGB, and I think redstone, I think. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to process these, and then I will be back. All right, guys. I just realized that I was going to process those combs, and so I stuck my redstone meal in there, and I forgot that the reason that we're doing this is because we get various materials out of it. So I went through my first iteration right off the bat. I got some redstone chunks because of the items that the honeycomb that I had in there. So as you see, I mean, there's a chance of processing these combs that you will get resources from this. And from that 1 chunk of redstone that we've gotten now we've gotten 4. So if we were to process the redstone, so let's go into our uses, right? For the little chunks, we can get 6 redstone dust out of it. We throw it inside of an enrichment chamber. Or we could put it into a crusher. So So you can see how this would be a very nice way to get some resources from combs. Now keep in mind, this was just the redstone one. So the RGB combs, what you can get from these is various dyes, if I remember correctly. So let's do this a couple times, at least until we get a dye, so we can see what the output or the resource is from this. Okay, so just finished processing all of the RGB comb. We didn't get anything from it, so it's not a guaranteed drop. So let's throw our sooty in here and let's see if we from sooty we should get some coal. Coal is the chance that we're going to get. So I'm going to process all of this. We've got 36 comb in there, and I'll be back. Okay, and we're back, and we just finished processing all of the sooty. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got some coal chunks and we got some bitumen chunks. So coal chunks, I'm sure I'm guessing are going to be processed the same way that everything else is. So if we check out our uses of our chunks, and we probably get, my guess is we probably toss it inside of like an enrichment chamber. Yeah, we get a couple coal. My guess is we probably something very similar with the bitumen. Yeah, so we could stick it. We could stick the bitumen and we get 4 of them out. So again, this is how we're gonna generate. And we got some honey as well. So let's go ahead and see the honey. Nom, 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 nom. So this is how we're gonna process. This is a very slow process, right? It's a mechanical guide that requires us to do all of the clicking. It's a very intensive time. So I mean, this is gonna be you're gonna spend a lot of time doing that. So we're gonna quickly move past this, and we're gonna get into the powered centrifuge because this is so much easier. We can just connect it up to a little bit of power. We will throw our combs in there. So centrifuge. We want the powered. We don't have smooth stones, so we need to get some stone. So centrifuge, we are going to make a powered version of it. Yes, please. And we're just going to stick this probably over here for now. Actually, we've got power right here, so maybe where's our, what side is our beehive on? Beehive is out this side. So let's put it over here. Let's put it 1 block back so that we can actually do something with it. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're still going to do the exact same thing of what we're doing. We're going to throw some bottles in here. It's going to do its happy little thing. But now when we're going to find some comb, and we're going to throw these chunks in here for now because we don't need any of this stuff on us. Let's go get some. Let's go get some honeycomb. Because I've got a couple bees sitting in here. He says, "You better not get out. I will be so put out." So these are my bees. I said that I have in here that I have trapped currently. Right? So we're just gonna show this in terms of what we're doing and why we did it this way. So now, you know, we saw the other thing, but now we can stick the combs in here and it'll just auto process for us. And we could actually set this up on with our RS systems. So combs come into our RS system. We can export it directly out of our RS system, and then it makes it all done. So and then it'll keep going and do the next ones too. And then over here we have a fluid output. So like if we get fluid from this, no, honey, it will put it in here as well. So kind of nice way for early gen. But I'm gonna look at some stuff. I will. So let's take. All right. So let's take a look at our quest rewards. So we got this, multiplex centrifuge. This is what we're gonna end up going to. We don't have the resources at the moment to make this, but we have our tier 1. So how do we get bees, right? I mean, we're using this mod to be able to get bees, but so far we haven't really seen how to get bees, just that I have had a couple of them. So let's take a look in terms of how we get bees and how we start to process these things. So here we have another quartz bee. So let's stick him in here so I don't lose him. So let's take a look at bees. Right? Now, one of the first bees I want to get is iron. I want an iron bee. Oh, there's a dire bee. Oh. All right. So if you go into JEI, type iron bee or bee iron, whatever, and if you click on it, it gives you some basic information. Basic health, ticks, what parents. Parents is an important attribute. So we need a forest bee and a sand bee. And this also tells you that, does this bee spawn naturally in the world? No. They used to, but they made in the mod update, they changed it now, so that it's only bred. You have to breed it. So if you right click on the bee in JEI, you can get a little bit more detail in terms of what they generate and things like that. But the important thing here is that we need a forest bee and a sand bee. So let's see what bees we have. I have a forest that I captured. Do we have a sand? I don't have a sand bee. So if we go to our sand bee, again, click on it. The information down here says, where can you find this bee? Red deserts, oasis, beach, deserts, land, lush, red deserts. And it lists a whole field of areas where there is a chance that this bee will spawn. Now, we all know that Minecraft has a lot of biomes. So there's a mod called Nature's Compass right here that you can use to tell that you can find different biomes, and it's actually one of the items that's in your adventure thing. So make sure you read these guys. They're I know I haven't filled them out, but they actually have a lot of very valuable information, inside of here. But so let's take a look and see what we do. We need to find ourselves a sandy biome. We need to eat. That's what we need to do. Let's eat real quick. All right. So Nature's Compass. How does this compass work? So if you right click, it searches all of the biomes. So we want to look up one of the sand biomes, right? So basically we want to take a look and see where is that sandy bee? So sand bee. What biome is he in? So he's in deserts, beaches. So let's just look up a desert. I mean, desert would probably be the most logical spot, right? So we come in here and we type desert, and if you click on it, double click, it tells you how far away your closest desert is. If you see in the upper left-hand corner, it's searching. And there is not one desert anywhere near me in a 10,000 block radius. So desert's not going to work for us. How about a beach? Right? Because wasn't a beach one of the, let's see, oasis or a white desert? So let's see what those are. Let's try oasis. Not found. All right. I'm going to go through these things for a minute, and I'm going to see if I can't find a biome that is semi-close to, oh, see, there's, okay, so here's a white beach that's, it's 3,500 blocks away. I really don't feel like growing in 3,500 blocks, so I will be back. I'm going to find a biome that's close to us, and then we will continue. All right, guys, so I think I found one. Snowy beach. There's a chance of our sandy bee to come up in the side of the snowy beach. So I looked it up, and as you see, we are 1,100 blocks away. So it's not the closest, but it's also, you know, not the furthest thing that we've ever seen. So if you look at our compass in our hand, as I turn, the dial is changing in terms of where it's pointing to. So it's, you see, it's pointing to us straight. So it wants us to come this way, right? So we know that this way we have a sandy beach somewhere. So I'm going to run this way, and as I'm coming this way, as you see, you've got these sooty bees right here. Now I don't need any more sooty bees. I've got a bunch of them, but if I see a bee that I don't have, I am going to steal said bee, because we're going to need a bunch of different bees as we progress on this journey. So I'm going to continue to come over. Oh, like here's a regular bee. So you capture them just with an empty bee jar, and you just right click on them. But it's a nice, guys, look, we have a panda bear. We're gonna capture a panda bear. Hi. Look, it's a little panda bear. Do I have my jars on me, or did I put them away? I put them away. All right, you can be big. You can be big again. $800 blocks away. All right, so I'll be back. Okay, so here we are at our sandy beach. So again, we're our snow beach, or snow desert, whatever, snowy beach. So again, it's a chance of something spawning. It's not a guaranteed chance that it's going to spawn, and I do not see one of those bees anywhere around here. So while we were searching and hoping, this one kind of came up empty. So, but we did come across some of these. Look, we got seals. So I am going to continue my search. Hey guys, so still running over, and I came across a forest bee. So we definitely want to get these guys. So if you, and I've come across, and we got a creeper bee as well. So nice. So I'm just continuing to make our way over to this location. That's an interesting world spawn. Because we're still trying to find our sandy bee. So I'm gonna continue going on until I get there. I'll be back. All right, guys. So I've traveled a few thousand blocks to find this guy right here. We want that sandy bee. So just to give you an idea in terms of how far I had to travel to this, this was the one that it was sitting in. So I'm in a beach biome, and as I was going around, there was nothing here, but I saw this hive, so I came over and I looked at it, and you know, see right now on the screen it says 0 out of 2. It had a 1, so I just kind of sat around here and waited to see what hive was in it or what bee was in it. And when he came out, he was a sandy bee. So we have a thing. All right, guys, we're back. We're back at the base, and I cleaned up my inventory. So here's what we got inside of our RS system in terms of the bees that we can use to start this process. I was able to find one sand bee. That's it. So the first bees that I want to do is I would like to get an iron bee because my iron is ridiculously low. So to make an iron bee, what we need to do is we need to breed a forest bee and a sand bee. And the way that you breed them is you put your forest bee in the world, you put your sand bee in the world, and you feed them whatever's listed here underneath of the items. So we've got a forest bee, we need to give some kind of a log. Sand bee, we get some kind of sand. The two of them will breed, they do not die, and they will produce an iron bee. So we're gonna do this. So we need to grab one of our forest bees and one of our sand bees. And we need to grab some sand. And we need to grab a log. And just to just to make sure that we've got this right, that it's just regular sand and not sandstone. Yeah, just sand. All right, and we're gonna do this in the basement. That way, in the event that they get out, we can recapture them really quick. So we're gonna grab our jars, and we're going to let's do this. We're gonna do forest bee, that. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're going to do this real quickly. I think we're getting close to the end of the episode here. So we're just gonna place them out. Maybe we'll go down in the mine. Just, I would hate to have them escape on me. So let's come over. Yeah, let's come over here where there's no chance of them escaping. This is where I've been mining, one of the shafts that I've been mining. So what we're gonna do, again, we're gonna place our forest bee in the world, and put our sandy bee in the world. And as I've got my sand and he's all happy. So we feed it to him. And then we do our oak log to this guy. And these two should mate. Hey, get over here. There we go. So we have two bees that are all in love. And look, we get a baby bee. See? He's a little baby iron bee that we will recapture. So that is how the bee breeding works in this game. So what we're gonna do, right, is that we are gonna start taking a look at all the various bee combinations that we can get. So like if we take a look at forest bee, for example, and we take a look at breeding, it basically will tell us all the different variants that we're going to do. So if we take a forest bee and a zombie, we get 10. Forest plus sand is our iron. Forest plus forest, just another forest, right? So we're going to spend some time over the next episode probably to breeding up some bees, getting things up. I'll probably build like a house, some kind of a house where we're going to do. Now, the other thing that you want to do is with your Beepedia, if you're not sure how to make something, if your Beepedia is kind of your encyclopedia in terms of bees, right? So if we take a look at our iron bee, for example, that we just made, now JEI does a good job of telling you how to do it. This does an even better job. And this will show you things that JEI will not show you. So iron bee tells you about it. Does it have a stinger? Is it poisonous? Can it mutate? So this is saying that if the bee flies over top of a stone block, it can make it iron ore. It's saying it can swim, sedimentary, various traits that it can get in terms of the honeycomb or centrifuge, right? So here, if you put a iron bee inside of a nest, it can get you this. If you put it inside of a tier 1 apiary, you get 3, and it just scales up. And then this will tell you what you can get out of your honeycomb for an iron bee. So in a centrifuge, you put this, you get a 50% chance to get an iron chunk and a 10% chance to get a nickel chunk. And then there's different variants there of it as well, because you have to account for full honeycombs. So, and then the other thing it'll do is it'll show you what its parents are. So like here we could have done our sandy bee versus our forest bee, which is what we did. Or you can do an iron and an iron, feeding them an iron block, which is not a good ratio. If you're going to do this, this is the way to go, because it's literally a piece of sand and a piece of wood will get you a full bee. Now, what can you get from the children? This is what you can breed with. So iron plus an ICB equals lead. Iron plus iron equals iron. So this is what we're going to probably spend a little bit of time doing. I'll probably build something other than what I have currently over here. So like this is currently my, let's just put down a little iron bee. Look how cute he is. So we grab our shears. We use a shears on the comb, or on the hive. And what I've done is I've made a tier 1 beehive, and I have placed a campfire underneath of it. And what that and all that does is it lets me be able to smoke them so that they're never angry with me, basically. So I can just come over here and I can take stuff out. So I'm probably going to work on maybe building up and out this whole structure so we can make like a whole little like beehive thing. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Is that we're going to continue to dive in, and we're going to use all of our bees to the best of our abilities so that we can work our way all the way up to getting, all the bees, basically. I would like to have a room for all of the bees, and I would kind of like to have it semi-automated as well, so that, so like what we can do is we can build apiaries that can hold stuff. And I mean, and this is a pretty big multi-block structure, So, but our goal is to be this. So we're going to work towards getting our bees. Well, we got a lot, of them that we're going to be working on making, and this is going to be our primary means of getting bread cube. This is going to be our primary means of getting our resources for this pack. I really want to be able to utilize this as best as possible. So, bloody bees versus some bees. But guys, have a great evening. Blessings on you and your family, and I will talk with you later. Bye.